Alright, now that you're done with the 3.1 building the test bed, then you're just going to open the 3.1.1 activity off of Echo and follow the instructions, and I'm going to kind of guide you through that. So the first thing we're going to do is start the Robot C program, and if you'll find it on your desktop, there'll be two of them. You don't want the one that says Graphical Robot C, you want the one that just says Robot C 4.0. So go ahead and double click and start that, and we'll get that going. And then you want to connect your test bed to the computer using this orange cord right here. So that orange cord goes into the Cortex right there, and then you plug it into a USB port on your computer. So just find a USB port on your computer and get that plugged in. And and then you're going to go back over here to Robot C, and we're going to start setting everything up. So here's Robot C. So the first thing we're going to do is actually open a sample program from the PLTW file. So go up here to File and do Open Sample Program. And Robot C, for most of you, Robot C will actually default to VexIQ. So if you see VexIQ up here, we need to change that to Vex2. So just click on Sample Programs right here and change it to Vex2, and then scroll down and find PLTW, double click PLTW, and then double click PLTW template. That's the file that we need to open. And once you've done that, then we're ready to start this part B right here, which is setting up your platform type. So go back into Robot C and go up to Robot, Platform Type, and you might have VexIQ checked again. So if you go to Robot, Platform Type, just change that to Vex 2.0 Cortex. And then once you've done that, go down here to Vex Robotics. That's where you can change it if you don't see it. And then also make sure that this natural language PLTW is selected as well. So make sure 2.0 Cortex and natural language, both of those are selected. You might have to click on that twice to make that happen. Once you've done that, then we also want to change the communication mode. So we're going to go back to Robot C, click Robot, Vex Communication Mode, and we're going to change that to VexNet or USB. So click that one. If we go back to Vex Communication Mode, that one is selected, so we're good. So that's what we need on that one. And then the next thing is we want to click View and select the communication port. And we want to make sure that the automatic selection is selected on that. This is the only time you'll have to do this while we're doing these labs. We just got to get it all set up correctly. So go over here to View and select Communication Port, and my automatic is selected, so I'm okay. So just if yours is not, make sure you select that one and then click OK. All right. Then we're going to save this. We're going to save this on your all's Z drive, or I think it's actually an H drive now. It used to be a Z drive. I don't have one, so I won't be able to save it, but what you guys will want to do is go up to File and click Save As, and then you don't want to overwrite this template, so you want to actually, I'm going to choose my Google Drive, but you guys want to choose your H drive. If you need help with that, just let me know, but I'm going to choose my Google Drive, and I'm going to make a new folder, and that's what I want you to do on your H drive. Make a new folder and call it Test Bed. Mine's saying it can't find the Google Drive. I'm going to click my drive. Alright, let's try it again. Make a new folder, call it Test Bed, and then double click that folder and then rename the file to 3.1.1. That'll be the name of the file, so we'll click Save now. Okay. Alright, let's go back to our instructions. And so now, once we've saved it as 3.1.1, we're going to complete the project title, the team member's date, and section. And then we can leave those other 2 sections blank. So that means just up here, if you'll put test bed right there under project title, and then your team members, whoever you're working with, just put your all's names there. And then the date, whatever the date is. And then on the section, put whatever period, class period you're in, so 4th period or 7th period, whatever class period you're in. Then you can leave the task description and the pseudocode. You can leave those blank. All right, once you get that done, then we're ready to set up our motors and sensors. So we're going to go back into Robot C, and we're going to click Robot, and then we're going to do Motor and Sensor Setup. So if you scroll down on the instructions, and this is the way you should have plugged your motors in according to the testbed instructions, but we're going to add all of these motors to the motor and sensor setup. So we'll go back over here to Robot C, and in port number 1, under the Motors tab is Flashlight. And that is a flashlight, so we're going to choose flashlight there. On port 2, it should be the right motor. So we're going to go back over here and choose right motor. And that's a VEX 393 motor. So we're going to get that, VEX 393. And then port 3 is the left motor. It's real important that you capitalize everything that I'm capitalizing. It'll make things easier when we get ready to do the other labs. Otherwise, you're going to have to remember what you called them. And then port number 9 is the servo motor. Make sure they capitalize the M on that one. Yeah, looks like they did. And then make sure you choose on port 9 the 3-wire servo. I'm going to take that out of port 7, make sure. Okay, then you can just click apply on that. Now we're going to set up our analog sensors. So our analog sensors are these line follower, potentiometer, and light sensor. So port 1, line follower. And the line follower is there. Port 2 is potentiometer. And if you make sure you spell it correctly, that's going to make everything easier later. And then port 3 is the light sensor. We don't usually put spaces in between things. So we're going to do light sensor there. And you can apply that. And then for our digital sensors, go back over and see how those are set up. Those are over here. And in port number 1, you've got a limit switch, and then a bump switch, and then our encoders, and then our ultrasonic rangefinder as well. So, limit switch. Okay, so change that. That is just a touch sensor. And then port 2 is the bump switch. And that is also a touch sensor. Port 3 are the encoders. So you can just call those encoder. And that's the quad encoder. And if you'll notice, it'll actually put a second port. You don't have to call port 4 anything, although on the lab I think it has you put encoder on there, but it might take it out. And then in port 5, we're going to have the rangefinder. So that's the sonar. We're probably going to measure that in inches. You guys can really decide on that if you end up using that for your marble sorter or anything. I'm going to put it as inches there. And we're going to call that ultrasonic. Okay, you can apply that and then click OK. Click OK again. And if you notice up here in the program, it's got everything is in there now. So once you have that done, you're ready for me to sign off on the first 4 steps to your lab recording sheet.